I scored 2 perfect 10s, which was amazing. And I really love that it was out of 10 again. Obviously, the code of points has changed for a long time now. And even in my career, I've never been able to get a perfect 10. So to kind of have that to aim for, it really makes you kind of tune in on those finer details and really make your routines as perfect as possible. Whereas in elite, I think a lot of the time you're almost just trying to get through your routine, obviously like as clean as possible, but a wobble in your beam routine wouldn't be a big deal. Whereas in college, a wobble is a massive deal. It's the difference between like a 9-9 and a 10. So you're really trying to aim for perfection. And I do think that in a sport like gymnastics, those perfect routines are that next level. So it's really cool to have that to strive for in college. So to get those, and they were both on beam, which has always been my favourite and best piece. So that was amazing. And I had this signature dismount, which I could do this skill, which was like a sideways free cartwheel on the beam. I think I just played around with it once when I had like an injured wrist or something. And then when you get to college, obviously they want to know what skills you can do. So I just sort of told them, I can do this, but it was kind of a bit risky to just have in your routine. And then coming in for my second year, one of the coaches thought of the dismount. So going the sideways free cartwheel into a dismount off the side. Sounded crazy, but you kind of have a bit of time in pre-season where you can play with skills like that. And I managed to do it. And it was honestly the scariest skill to learn at first because the margin for error, and I definitely had a few fun falls on it. But once I got it down, it was actually really consistent. And it was really cool to have a kind of standout skill. And no one else has really done it since. So really cool to have a bit of a signature skill. So I think those were probably two really defining things. And then I also became the NCAA balance beam champion in my senior year, which was a really great way to finish off my career there.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it. I mean, having sort of, how would that work? So I've got two sort of questions about how does that work. First off, how does the perfect 10 work? Like what gets you to a 10? Is it, because I know there has been a competition very recently. It's like an online competition where you start with an execution score of 8 rather than 10, and then you've got difficulty up to 2.0, and then that's how they added up to a 10. How does it work how did it? I don't know if it's changed or anything. How did it work?
So still out of 10 now. And you have to have certain requirements and obviously skill level to start from a 10. But most of the D1 colleges, everyone will have 10 start values. And then, I mean, I don't think this is controversial to say because I see it a lot online, but I would say now the judging's gone a bit crazy and like there's been a lot of 10s. A lot of the records are a bit skewed, but you really had to be perfect. And you almost always had to be the last person. So 6 people in the team compete on each piece. You kind of had to be the last person in your team on that piece to get a 10 because it really had to build up. So say if like the first few people had done really good routines and the person before you got like a 995 or a 9975, then that really set you up to get a 10, but you still had to be perfect. It wasn't a given by any means. So during my 4 years in college, I saw 2 of my teammates get a 10 and then saw one other girl from Stanford get a 10, and then I got my 2 10s. So what's that? That's 5 10s in 4 years that I witnessed. Whereas now I've seen like 3 in 1 meet. So it's definitely changed a bit now. And I do think it was really exciting when it was like, okay, oh my God, the person that started the rotation got a 9-9. And it's like, can the last person get a 10? Because obviously you tend to put your best person up last. So, and you kind of, if you were that last person and you knew you were capable of a 10, if your other teammates had done their jobs, you obviously had that pressure on you, but you're also really grateful because you were like, okay, they'd set me up, like it's now or never kind of thing. So it was a team effort in a way to get to that 10 as well.